We know we'll probably have more of you joining as we go along tonight. As you are joining, my mom, one of our favorite traditions that mom would begin most calls with, even when we were on Zoom. She was so good about this. She would say, all right, what oil is everybody putting on? So what oil are you putting on? Put it in the chat. Tell us what you're wearing or show us in your screen. What oil are you using? When I came home, well, the last week of Thanksgiving, mom had this sitting by her bed, and I said, and she was carrying it with her most places, and I said, Mom, did you make the memory release mixture in your sacred frankincense bottle? So before I left, I brought it home with me because I had an aroma freedom session with a few of you yesterday, and it was just really special to kind of bring her back, even though I can make my own. It's really special to have Stress Away. For those of you who haven't done AFT in a while, it's equal parts Stress Away, frankincense, and lavender in one mixture. So you can use an old bottle, and she did like I do and put a roller top on it to be able to sort of unlock and shift some of those old patterns that stay locked in our heads. So thank you for joining us for this time in honoring my mom. We didn't talk about who's saying what when, Andrea, except I knew we started with oil. What do we do next?
Andy's going to open us in prayer.
Thank you.
God, thanks for tonight. Thank you so much for this gathering. Thank you for the opportunity to honor Mom. God, she was such an important piece of our lives. We're just so thankful, Lord, for her life, for her legacy. Thankful, Lord, for the oils that she put in our stockings that so many years ago, Lord, and how that changed our lives. We didn't know at that point in time what it would look like, but we're just thankful. God, we just thank you for the lives that are here, the people that are here, and the lives that Mom touched. Thank you, God, for community. Community was so important to Mom, and it's become so important to us. So thankful for what living well now represents. And God, just thankful for the opportunity to come together tonight and reflect and remember and treasure moments. We miss her a lot, but we know, God, that she is in a great place. And for that, we're thankful. We give you the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So we decided that we would do a little history of Deb and with Young Living, like, and kind of how things developed from the beginning. I was thinking about it.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say, and a little bit of our family tree, because Nana's always asking us to talk about our family tree. So go ahead.
Really quickly, do that.
No, this is all part of it. So
family tree, meaning that
Deborah was introduced by.
Yep. Deborah was introduced by her friend, who she knew through that friend's partner.
Yeah. So those of you in Peoria may remember Bill Lampiers came down from Colorado to be a principal at one of the schools, and his partner is Rebecca Reynolds. And Rebecca may join us tonight because I know she's in our group, so she may have seen the event. But Rebecca so by way of Bill and Rebecca, Mom got introduced to oils because she was perimenopausal and she didn't want to have hormone replacement therapy. And so she said, what do you have? And Rebecca told her, I have an oil for that. That was always Mom's story. In fact, Mom's first Young Living story was 9 pages long. So if you want the copy of that, we can find that. It was literally 9 pages long. You're supposed to be able to share your story in a minute, and Mom's was 9 pages, more than a minute. Anyway, so that was in 2000. We said 2005, 2006.
2006, she was introduced, and then in 2007, we all became members, is my recollection, because we got oils for Christmas in 2006. She had been using them for several months. Erin was like the first adopter. Erin was the first follower. If you guys have seen that video for starting a movement, Aaron was the first follower for sure. He was putting like oregano in his water, and I was like, what are you doing? And I remember the first time I went, like Aaron and I went to some event. We were teachers at the same school together for a while. We went to an event together, and he had me put peppermint in my water. And I remember drinking like a couple drops of peppermint in my water that first time and being like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But anyway, yeah, so she put the oils in our stocking that Christmas, 06. So she was what, 54 when she was introduced to the oils, or 53, something like that.
She had just retired from public education. She had just retired. So we call this her,
In 2009, she retired.
Oh, before 12. Okay.
Using them for a few years before she retired. And in that time, we all just kind of dabbled in the business. Like once like I saw that these were legit and they were working, I was like, we should be sharing this with people, right? And so we all just kind of dabbled in the business. Rebecca was able to teach us like some of the basics of how it worked. And we had a couple of meetings with Rebecca at her house, which was really cool. Rebecca was super just helpful in like teaching us what these oils could do. I feel like I soaked up so much from her. And then it was in 2000. Well, when did we come up with the name Living Well Now?
Around 2006, 2007, my mom said, we need to have a name for our team, our community. You know,
you and I didn't even have accounts until the end of 07. So this must have
been the summer of 07, I think. It was before we even had accounts on it, really, because she had a vision, or no, maybe it was like 08.
08, I would say.
Okay.
No, I at least had an account.
But we went to Sedona. You guys, like, this is my mom as a visionary. She's like, let's go to Sedona and just like walk around and think about maybe what a name could be for what we're doing here. And we were like, oh, okay, Mom, we'll go to Sedona. Sure. I had 2 young kids at the time. Like, yes, please take me away. And we took our friend Deb Merrifield with us, and we just talked. And Living Well Now came from the vision of Jesus as the living well, like the source of all, right? And the idea that in our society, we choose health and wellness now, like living well now. So some of you may know.
It's a bit of a double entendre. We got the living well, but also living well now. And so that's what it's been since I want to say 08 is when we came up with that, summer of 08. We'd been using the products for at that point, we'd been using them for over a year, but we'd had our accounts. We had started to enroll, a handful of friends and family members and things like that. And though we didn't see a vision for having thousands of people around the globe using these products and sharing, these products with others, we knew that this was something that we wanted to be a part of our life. And we saw ourselves continue to share. We didn't really get network marketing at that point at all. And we weren't sharing, the business with people, things like that. But it was the beginning. It was the beginning of something that we didn't realize would turn into what it is now.
So real quickly, 09.
So then it was in 2009,
we went to the first convention in Minnesota.
Yep.
2009, we went to a convention in Minnesota. It wasn't even at the farm. 2010, we went to a convention in Orlando. 2011, we came to the farm with a group of you. Some of you were there. Michelle Carter, I think you were there in 2011. Were you there in 11? Not yet. Okay. So then in 2012, it was just us.
That was the year, 2012 was the first year that the business was really talked about, to be honest, right? At convention like that.
They never talked about the business.
That's when the 4-year career came out.
Those first 3 years we were there, nothing.
Yeah.
And so that was really the game changer, was that we were able to see a vision. And so I think about like how cool it was that, Deb was on board. Like, here she is, she's retired. She could be just like full on, like taking it easy for the rest of her life. But she was like, all right, let's do this, ladies. And from 2012, that's when, was this 2012? Yeah, this is our 2012 picture. Oh my goodness.
Look at our babies.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then 2000, Shauna, fill in the gap. 2015, we started Ignite. 2014. We always go back and forth on this date. 14?
2014, we started the planning. The first one would have been 2015 February.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because Connie and Michael, or Connie McDaniel, Connie came into our lives around 2013, 2014 and said, I see vision here for, I'm gonna work with this team. You guys are motivated. She was wintering here. She brought Adam Green in for an event, which was super fun because he was that young aspiring diamond at the time, and just brought a really fun energy. And we started doing a class at my mom's house. Some of you were there, weekly for 10 weeks. Katie Strong's version of this is just hysterical if you ever get to pin her down on it. But we went for 10 weeks studying Randy Gage's Duplication Nation through weekly meetings, and launched our team pretty seriously. So it made sense then to have Ignite, where we were more formally bringing people in, and we could go on and on. Fast forward, we closed out Ignite 2021 with an online option, since we weren't sure kind of what we were going to be able to do. So that was February of 2021. And in late July, Mom had some exploratory scans and found that she had lung cancer. And she was committed at that point to establishing and developing more healthy cells. So you've heard us for the last 16 months talk about my mom's commitment to healthier cells. And she has just been so strong and so incredibly courageous through the last 16 months, and surrounded herself with the right practitioners and family and friends to just help propel her during this time. And without getting into too much of that, it was just a real blessing for all of us to be together for Thanksgiving before she passed on Sunday night, November 27th. So that was a really quick close, but I feel like we need to have some other sharing, Andrea.
Okay, so we're gonna go. Erin, do you have? Oh, actually, no. We are gonna do the other sharing right now. So we have a couple of people on who were very close to Deb, and we just asked them to share like just a memory, just one memory from your time with her in Young Living. So I'm going to start with Nan, because Nan has known her for a very long time. We'll go to you, Nan.
Thanks. I do want to say that I'm honored to have been asked to talk about Deborah, my friend for 30 years. I first met Deborah because she got a wild hair one year and decided she was going to move from the elementary school to teach high school for a year. And luckily, she got placed with me and we team taught in the same classroom. So we were side by side every single day for that school year. And, I just want to say that Deborah, as a seminal figure in my life. Now, if you don't know the meaning of seminal, because I'm an English teacher, I'm going to tell you that if that's a person or something that really influences you in a way that affects the rest of your life. And that was Deborah for me. And it still is Deborah, because I still, in my head, quite often, several times a week, go, what would Deborah do in this situation? But teaching with her that first year, of course, we all know the minute you meet her, the kindness is like the thing that just hits you right in the heart right away. You know that you are in the presence of the ultimate kindness and caring. And I just want to say from that experience, the thing I learned about Deborah, just like in the Lucy Libido classes, is that she does not let anything faze her. And she just doesn't. And, we taught kids that struggled in school, and we had a lot of special ed kids in our classes, and they would ask a lot of inappropriate questions, and Deborah would answer them matter-of-factly. And I was a second-year teacher, and I was mortified most of the time. But what I learned from that was this is just life. And that is how Deborah was. She was just like, this is life. And why are we ashamed to talk about it? So we talk about things. And so I learned that lesson from her that, I mean, I'm not as bold as she was, but I definitely learned that lesson from her. And during that same first year, Deborah taught me a lot about making others feel important. And so she, at one point, asked me, she said, where do you go to church? And my husband and I had gotten married at Shadow Rock. This was my first year with Deborah, and I got married that year and got pregnant that year. So she got to experience a lot of my life stuff. But she was there for me, and she always made me feel important. And so she and her family came to my church. And now this was so long ago that Ange was like, I don't know, 13. Aaron, I don't remember how many years less you are than Ange, but yeah. So, I mean, you guys are young, and they all introduced themselves to us, shook our hands, looked us in the eyes, had conversations with us. And I immediately knew that Deborah would be my mentor for parenting the rest of my life. And, the influence that she had on how I raised my kids and how I was matter of fact with them, and how deeply I loved them and how they knew it, all came from Deborah, because I didn't grow up that way and I didn't have those models. And so Deborah and John were my models for that. And I just want to end by saying, I had many, 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 many years of Deborah influencing my life in those very positive ways. And I am so honored to have been her friend. But one of the last things that she did for me before she got sick and before COVID came around and kept us from getting together was at a gold retreat in Carlsbad. First of all, I was blown away that her generosity would bring us all there and take care of us while we were there and feed us and love on us and have things planned for us and to grow our spirits and our businesses. But the last thing that she really did was to tell all of us that we were worthy and that we needed to believe that. And so I could never repay all the amazing influence she's had on my life. And I love her so much. And I thank you guys for letting me share that.
Whew, thank you, Nan.
Thanks, Nan.
I'm going to go over to Sheila. Sheila, if you'd come live. I think you are her longest friend on the call, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but my story, it's amazing. It's Deb. So Nan, I sit here, Deb always knew you and I would be kindred spirits because we had that same thing, the same connection. I just had my initiation a few years earlier. The kids were a little younger. I was very naive in college. So I've got lots of stories too, but the thread, so everything Nan said, that spoke, all of that was me too, with the sense of, here's someone who, she and John both, the parenting, and I just knew that's what I wanted and how I wanted to be. But I have a story that, so we would spend lots of different times together. And I remember one time we needed, I think it was during summer, and I had visited you guys down in North Manchester, but she needed to go somewhere, had to pick one of you up. I don't know. So I rode along in the van, car, whatever you guys had at the time. But I do remember we got behind someone, she's talking, right? I'm sure it's shared time, right? That's what I loved about her. And it's her turn and she's talking, and the gentleman in front of her, the vehicle, he did not turn on his turn signal. All of a sudden, he just kind of slows down and turns. And so she didn't realize. And in the middle of her sharing, she just says, where's the clarity? We need clarity in this world. And then continues on talking, like, and that, that was Deborah. I saw that in all her life. And it's fun to hear you tell the story of the birth of Living Well Now, because I got to experience it as her listener. Like, and we would connect no matter where I was living. We were always checking in. But I got to hear the story of, starting with the oils to the young, like, I think we're going to do this, to the, I'm reaching out, Connie McDaniel, like, they winter here. We're going to their house. We're going to see them. To Sheila, we are dreaming big. Guess who I see? We're going to bring in Adam Green. We're going to do it. You guys, we were, Living Well Now was just so small. It was just like maybe our businesses, right? We're just starting for some of us. Anyway, I saw that, to just so many other things. So the next word is grow. Okay. Yes, Nan had all kinds of words, my words, clarity and growth. When she drew her circles, we connected one time when I finally did reach out. She never, here's what you can take from Deborah. It was not, she went with the relationship first, the person first. She knew, she had circles drawn already with smiley faces, because I know she said, when I was ready and asked about oils, she said, oh, I was waiting for you because your name was one of my smiley faces. But she knew this for a couple years, she was just waiting. Because she could tell I wasn't ready. I don't know. That's just what I love. So there you go. And that is just be patient also with people, but just love them for who they are and where they are. And that's what she did until our last Zoom call we were able to have. It was hard because she couldn't talk very well. But you guys, again, she lets me have time to talk. She wants to know what's going on in my life. And I was telling her how I really feel now in this stage in my life, I realize life is about, it's soul work, right? And I could see her eyes, like, dabbing her tears with her Kleenex, just doing this. And I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to hear what she said. But when it was her turn, she's like, Sheila, John and I have just been saying that. You guys, so she just, it's health in so many ways. And let's not forget that piece. And that's where she was at that, at the end. She's so grateful. She was so grateful for the time. Here she was in all this pain, all this stuff. And she was so grateful that she was slowed down because she could focus on prayer and family. And that's what was important with that soul work. So beautiful legacy that continues on. And I call you all family, and it's great to gather together. It's good to look you in the eye and one day hug real soon, hopefully.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm going to go over to Shauna. Ruby K.
Gosh. I can't get into all that, or I won't make it through. I echo everything Nan and Sheila just said. Other than the years, I only could have imagined having 30 years or more with Deborah. I only met her 9 years ago when I signed up with Young Living. And so my story began there with her, and we started Rock Your Biz. And I'll never forget the words coming out of the Lahman's mouths were like none other than I'd heard before. I was like, what kind of language are they speaking? Abundance and community and open palms and let's grab hands and I love you. This is my sister in love. And I was like, your sister in what? But this was the language that they spoke. And so then when they asked, would you like to partner with this event? I said, yes, because you all fascinate me. I want to be in your circle. I want to understand what you're saying and who is this woman? Who is this Deborah woman that is so interesting to me and fascinating? And I wanted to learn and just glean everything I could. And so I was thinking also the last, from whenever y'all asked me to say a little message here or a little memory, if I could remember Deborah in one word, I would say connection. I just felt like she wanted community through connection, love through connect, like just connecting with every single person. I don't know what the top number of people were that were on her Living Well Now team total, 15,000, 20,000, somewhere in between there maybe. But if she never met you personally, she connected with you, I promise to you, through prayer. She was so interested in every single person and praying over it and being connected with everyone. And the event obviously connected us together, and it was amazing. And I loved my time with her, even if we were talking just about budgets, and I was learning about faith in risk taking and putting things out there and all of that, but also being a very good steward of every single penny on these multiple thousands of dollars of accounts, types of things. But then the loss of my brother brought us to another connection level. And we met, Deborah and I, almost on a weekly basis for a while at the little Starbucks in Arrowhead. And sometimes it was business, but most of the time it was just friendship. But what I wanted to get at is what Sheila was saying. And she would first say, oh, tell me what's going on. How are the kids going? And I'm a master asker. I love asking questions and being interested in people. And she would not let me do that most of the time. She always wanted to know about me first. And I'll never forget one memory where she sat down and she said, Shauna, and she stuck out her hands like this so that I would grab her hands, which she knew was out of my comfort zone as well. And this is not the I love you story, but she said, today I need listening. And it melted my heart. And I said, oh, this to me now is a new level for Deborah. She's asking me first to listen. And of course, what can I, and she just started bawling about the subject that she needed listening on. And I just thought to myself, I'm so honored to be sitting across from this woman who has literally listened to me first, just go through all these things with my brother and adoption and all these things. And here she's like, I was so humbled that day. And we then formed this kind of back and forth relationship of, I need you as a listener today, and I got to connect back with her on a different level. So I'm just grateful. She was so generous. She was so giving. She was always wanting to listen to everyone. Her legacy, truly, like the word legacy will never be the same for me, because that is her legacy. All of us being on here. How many 69, she's 69, right? How many 69-year-old women do you know who have an effect on tens of thousands of people like Deborah Lahman had? That is a legacy. And not because she stole a platform or was a social media influencer, but she connected on such a beautiful level with people that she grew this legacy that we'll talk about her for generations. I feel generations to come. My children were really upset when they heard the news. They were comforting me. We were comforting each other. We've all stayed at her beach house multiple times. It's just a beautiful, beautiful. So they felt like grandmother. She was a grandmother. I felt absolutely like she was a second mother. And in many ways, I love my mom to pieces. Deborah and I had a very unique relationship, and I'm so grateful that she connected with me and connected with all of you. And if we can continue to connect and listen and see, not just hear, but see and listen to people around us, that is the legacy to carry on through Deborah. So thank you. I'm beyond honored to share tonight. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. We're going to move into one of the songs that I know was one of Deb's favorites. She had, Erin, can you come live and just share just for a second about that? And then we'll put that song on and direct people what to do.
Yes. So Mom, I think we all knew she liked music growing up. She played the piano, played the organ in church growing up. And I remember Ange, and I thought Ange was the next Mariah Carey, because my mom would play the piano and Ange would sing with her, they would practice together. So I knew Mom liked music, but this last year and 16 months, the 16 months, she dove into music in a whole other way. It was part of our healing dance sessions and whatnot. And so we've really enjoyed like kind of going into her phone and seeing like her top 25 from the last year, the most played songs or whatever. So we have a spot, like Angie Hardison actually made a little Spotify playlist that we'll put in the comments for those of you who haven't checked it out yet, but it's got, I think, eight of her favorites on there. So anyway, we'll play the song Blessings. And while it's playing, for those of, because we don't, obviously we want to honor people's times and schedules and whatnot. If you would like to offer a word of gratitude or specific memory that meant a lot to you about mom, we'd love for you to write that in the chat while the song is playing. So take the next few minutes to just kind of, and if you just want to be in prayer quietly and listen to the song, that's cool too. But if you'd like to share something in the chat about mom, that'd be great. Yeah.
And then we're going to end after that 3 minutes. We're going to end with some words from Deborah to close out our time together.
Air, we can't hear it from your phone.
Okay, hear from the phone, Aaron. Is there any way you can share?
If you have your earphones in, it won't work. You don't.
I guess Ange needs to sing it.
Where I am, take it away.
No, are you able to share this?
Oh.
Aaron, share, like, pull
I'll
up
just put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
While Aaron's pulling that together, we will have a formal celebration of life service for my mom on January 7th here in Peoria. Information will be coming out by Friday on that, but just know that this was important. Mom was always about intention. And so having intentional time with you all as an extension of our family just felt really important to honor her tonight. So thank you for staying with us. Oh, good. Somebody else can be Mariah Carey. We have the karaoke version coming up, I think.
We'll have to enjoy 15-second commercial. Six seconds.
At Bombas, we make the comfiest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that feel good, and most of all,
sunlight fell and reminded me life can be so gracious sometimes. And I felt like everything around me was connected somehow. At night I hear the rhythm of the ocean as it breaks on the shore. And I think about all the things that I am grateful for. They say, hold on to the ones you love. Keep them close to you. They say, hold on to this time we have. And let the light shine through. Sometimes I get a little bit emotional when I see love unfold. Two hearts bound by reflections of the memories they'll forever hold. They say, hold on to the ones you love. Keep them close to you. They say, hold on to this time we have. And let the light shine through.
Sorry.
There are blessings all around you. Open up your eyes. Feel the sunlight fall upon you. Free your mind. There are blessings all around you. Take a step outside. Let your heart shine in the new light. See it come alive. They say, hold on to the ones you love. Keep them close to you. They say, hold on to this time we have. And let the light shine through.
Want to intro it, Ange? This is a throwback to Summer Sizzle.
October, actually. This
October.
was the Summer Sizzle retreat. Some of us haven't been able to watch this all yet, so sorry. The Summer Sizzle retreat, Andy said before mom got here to Arizona, Andy said, Mom, I'm just gonna drive you over and you can have dinner with them. And my mom was very weak in the last couple months of her life. And she said, I don't think I can do dinner, but I'll do a Zoom call. And we're so glad she did, because the first thing she did, and a lot of you have said this tonight in your chats too, was she asked everyone in the room to go around and share their favorite color, because she wanted to see each person. And while we don't have video of each person sharing that, we just have audio. It's just really special, just a special reminder that something as simple as sharing your favorite color allowed Deborah to see you and to be seen. And that was a really important part of who she was to each of us, and each of us extended. And so Aaron chose this clip to share with you tonight, and then we'll make this public so you can watch the whole thing at some point.
The next thing is we're loving and supporting our teammates is the importance of problem solving. We are very fortunate as a Living Well Now team to have.
Aaron, pause for a second. We can't see her face anymore.
Oh, because I went to.
I think whatever screen you went to, it just dropped.
Weird.
That's okay. Just reshare maybe.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh, wait. No, it still doesn't like that. All right. It didn't like when I went the full screen. All right.
On our teams. And I am very grateful. Problem solving. We are very fortunate as a Living Well Now team to have very little to no drama on our teams. And I am very grateful for that. One of the things that I did early on is, and I still do, I'm going to admit, is I pray for you every day. I pray for you. It's a tough time sometimes to be alive right now. And we need to surround each other with God's love to continue to support us to stay in a solution, problem-solving mode. And one of the things we do very well with that is we take time to focus on team. Together, everyone accomplishes more. And some of you in the room have heard that many, many, many times out of my mouth. So one of the things as leaders, we do need to vent our feelings. We have to be able to get to clear thinking with steps with each other to be able to come up with solutions. And right now, that continues to be very important for us. We have an elite leaders group. Those are our leaders who have achieved silver rank or above with Young Living. And so they have opportunity to problem solve together. And that's very important. So we can model out to our teams how to stay in a clear thinking, problem solving, solution focus. No drama. So I'm so grateful. So grateful.
Love you all.
That's all we got. Love you.
Thanks for
Okay.
being here tonight.
Yeah, and thanks for the chats. We're going to save that, and we're working on how we're documenting all of your incredible words and memories. And so this will be part of that. Andy, I think, volunteered to take them all on. So thank you. And thanks for holding our family in prayer during this holiday season. We wanted to rally this call tonight in our Oils of the Bible class, because that was one of our first places we started with Mom next Thursday. And then we'll probably be pretty quiet for the remainder of December so that we can just be together with our families. So thanks for understanding that as well. We love you.